The next great resource for local weather is now available.
DigitalWeatherDesk.com is your source for up-to-the-minute local weather. Add DigitalWeatherDesk.com to your favorites, download our app, and follow me on social media. The Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Monday, and it is a very quiet weather week shaping up across the area. For those that are catching us after finding us during the severe weather threat over the weekend, Friday into Saturday, and you've finally found us here at the Digital Weather Desk, this is what we do regularly during the week, 3 times each weekday, morning, midday, and evening. There's really no set schedule to it. These live streams are done to update the forecast, to let you know what's going on across the area currently, look at the short-term, the long-term forecast, but also just to interact with the folks that are able to join us live. If you're not able to join us live, that's totally fine. These forecasts are just left here as your latest updated forecast. Your ability to watch the weather when you need it. Louisiana Cooker, good morning. Susie, good morning to you. Happy Monday to everybody. Check of I-20, everything seems to be moving smoothly. Lots of sunshine to start the day, and it is chilly. 26 in El Dorado, 25 in Camden, 33 in Monroe, 27 in Natchez. Again, temperatures kind of all over the place, and a lot of spots, admittedly, running 3 to 4 degrees colder than initially thought. Not everyone, though. I had forecast lows at 29 in El Dorado. They're at 26. I had Natchez at 31. They're at 27. I had Monroe at 32, and they're at 33. And again, these are just the current temperatures. They are not our low temperatures for the day, so some spots may have even been colder than that. Quick check of the Mesonet, which is operated by the University of Louisiana Monroe. ULM down to 29.1 this morning. Ears to 27.6. A lot of spots generally plain dealing 26.2. Duboc 27.6. A lot of 27s, 28s, but also a lot of areas still at 30, 31. But a good chunk of the area below freezing to start the day, which shouldn't be a big surprise. We've been talking about the possibility of most of the area being at or below freezing to start the morning off on Monday late last week, and here we are. Joy, Matus, Tommy, good morning to all of you as well. Visibility's fine across the region. There's no fog issues. Wind speeds are very, very calm. Very calm. How calm can they be? They're either calm or they're not, so they are 0. There are some light winds south of the I-20 corridor, but that's about it. Janice, good morning. Check of the precip and our normal precip over the last 30 days. Obviously, you're aiming for about 100% of your normal rainfall. This weekend's rain did obviously do us some good, but the rain totals generally from northwest to southeast were generally around a ½ inch or so in the northwestern counties across southern Arkansas. The Mississippi Valley, though, there were some rain totals anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches, some areas over 3 inches, just depends on location, but a lot of those were really scattered rain totals. So again, the more widespread stuff is more beneficial, but we will take whatever we can get. The downside to it is we don't have a lot of good news in the rain department as we go through the rest of this week. By the way, today's forecast made possible by ServPro Monroe, West Monroe, faster to any size disaster. Call or click servpro.com today. You had water damage over the weekend or something like that, give them a shout. Check of the infrared satellite, and again, the clouds have started to kind of sneak back in. They are more kind of mid and high level clouds to start the week, but they will be kind of traipsing in and out through the next several days. Some areas will be mostly clear at times. Others will be partly cloudy, but we'll kind of waffle back and forth. Radar is made possible by Brown's Roofing. If the radar has been unkind to your roof, schedule your free roof inspection, commercial or residential, brownsroofingla.com. Kay, good morning to you. Yes, the mornings will be quite chilly, so everybody will need to stay warm as we go through this week. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Northeasterly winds today will become more southerly as we go through the afternoon. We will look for some cloud cover to return through the day tomorrow ahead of a weak trough or a weak cold front, weak boundary, whatever you want to call it, that'll move through the area late Tuesday, mainly early Wednesday morning. Could bring us some small rain chances for Wednesday. I don't have the rain chances in for now. I'm going to wait for the morning data to come in, finish trickling in, and then we'll kind of make a decision on whether we want to throw some 10 or 20% rain chances in along the Mississippi Valley. I'm not overly sold or convinced that the rain, even if we see it, would be appreciable across the area, but it's a possibility. And it does bring the northerly and northwesterly winds back in, some cooler air for Thursday. Most of us are back into the 40s for highs. Winds are back out of the south relatively quickly ahead of another system this weekend, which should bring cooler temperatures by Saturday and Sunday. So in general, it's just a series of, I don't want to call them weak fronts because they're there, they're existent in the atmosphere, but they don't have drastically colder air associated with them. And as we take a look at the upper level pattern, we don't really get much of an opportunity to really accumulate a lot of moisture out ahead of any of these systems either. There's a weak little upper disturbance that will phase in with the next trough of low pressure as it swings through the central United States. There's this little kind of secondary trough axis that kind of merges in with it that could help to boost the rain chances. That's for early Wednesday morning. That scoots on out, and northerly flow aloft continues to pump the colder air in across much of the central United States. Really, the storm pattern favors the Great Lakes and the Great Lakes in the northeast. Does not really, the jet pattern does not favor bringing storm systems through our area anytime soon. As I mentioned, late Friday into early Saturday will bring kind of another reinforcing shot of cool, dry air, but the northwesterly flow aloft ahead of and behind these systems really doesn't give us an opportunity to accumulate much moisture. So most of the middle part of this month looks dry. In part of the month, we maybe phase out of this particular pattern, but for the next 10 days, I don't see a lot of significant change in the forecast. Daytime highs today generally land in the mid-50s. We'll be back near the freezing mark at a lot of spots tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a good chunk of the area just above freezing to start the day tomorrow. Tuesday afternoon highs will be warmer ahead of that week trough. That will bring the cooler temperatures for the middle parts of the week. Morning lows only in the mid to low 40s probably on Wednesday morning. I have a lot of us at 43, 45, somewhere in that ballpark. Temperatures rebound a tad for Wednesday afternoon, but then the reinforcing cooler air arrives, pushing a lot of us back below freezing for Thursday morning, and then we don't really recover much through Thursday afternoon, with a lot of us spending most of the day in the 40s. So again, temperatures just kind of seesaw back and forth over the next 7 days, and not a lot in the way of rain chances. Cloud cover kind of sneaks in from time to time as well. Bobby, good morning to you. Daytime highs today, mid-50s, mix of sun and clouds. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, and you're going to hear me say that a lot over the next week because depending on your location and the time of the day, it'll either be mostly sunny or partly cloudy. Winds will be eventually out of the west to end the day. Rain chances back to 0. Overnight lows tonight, mid-30s. Few clouds linger across the area, staying chilly with winds light out of the south-southwest. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Again, temperatures rebound a tad Tuesday, Wednesday, with daytime highs back in the low 60s. We are trending cooler for Thursday, and I wouldn't be surprised. I thought about messing with the daytime highs for Thursday. I left it alone for now, but I wouldn't be surprised for Thursday's highs to have to come down a few degrees, maybe to the 46, 47 range for much of the region. But I wanted to wait one more kind of model sweep, if you will, for data to come in, and then we'll tweak those numbers a little bit. Kind of same story for the weekend. It'll be cool, but not necessarily cold. Temperatures will be at or a smidge below normal for this time of year, and morning lows back into the 30s. I mentioned something yesterday as I updated the forecast that some folks were advertising snow or a rain-snow mix across our area for this weekend, and I said that it's important to note that you can find data to fit any narrative, and I think a lot of folks thought that I was saying that it was going to snow this weekend. And what I was really saying is you can pretty much find model data. Whatever story you want to tell folks, you could pretty much find data to support that most times of the year. Up until a couple of weeks ago, we were still seeing some computer models that were throwing out, in the long term, Category 3 hurricanes in the Gulf. And so, again, you have to look at that and go, that's not realistic. And so a lot of these operational models, as you get longer out in time, they throw out some scenarios that get kind of wacky. The broken clock is right, twice a day. So every now and then those wild scenarios do happen. But the better tool is always in the longer term for those types of things, is to look at what we call the ensemble members, which is basically a bunch of mini model runs of the same computer model where you tweak the conditions of what's happening just to see what kind of different scenarios could evolve when you tweak those conditions. It's basically like if you were trying to answer questions on a test, and instead of having the opportunity to write in one answer, you had the opportunity to write in like 50 answers. There's a decent chance that one of those is going to be pretty close. So, there's a difference. But we'll keep an eye on that as we go through the weekend. Obviously, if I was convinced that there was something or a possibility of something this weekend, it'd be in the forecast, or it'd even be hinted at in the forecast. I'd have some small rain chances or something. I got nothing. I do have small rain chances for Natchez Saturday, 10%. That's it. And in fact, most of the computer models have trended drier for this weekend, not soggier. So that's how the forecast shakes out for this week. Again, it is a fairly quiet week, and while we urged folks to stay updated with the latest forecast and all that stuff last week as we were leading up to Friday and Saturday, honestly, this is one of those weeks where you check the forecast once daily, you're good to go. I don't want folks to sit here and think that the forecast is more important than it is this week. It'll be chilly. A lot of spots will be below the freezing mark or near the freezing mark on any given morning this week. So if that kind of stuff impacts you, obviously you want to check back more frequently. Daytime highs pretty close to normal or creep back above normal, really on a routine basis through the rest of this week as well. And if rain chances sneak back in, they're likely to be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and then again this weekend. That's how things set up for this week. And a reminder, the Digital Weather Desk, powered by CenturyX Bank, is a digital weather platform serving 33 parishes and counties across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. Is made possible 100% free to you by the local businesses that you see there on your screen. And we welcome the Country Club at Frenchman's Bend as our newest business partner. They will be bringing you your golf forecasts starting this week. You play your role simply by just being here and following us on your favorite social media platforms. If you are a local business that's catching us for the first time, you're going, hey, how do I be a part of this? How do I help keep the ArkLaMiss safe and informed? Well, you can just email me at jared@digitalweatherdesk.com. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com, along with latest interactive radar, which you really don't need today. More information on how to download the app, which also has the forecast and the interactive radar and all that stuff. Our partnership with Weather Call. More information can be found at the website. DigitalWeatherDesk.com kind of has all your answers. As we go through the rest of today, Too Long Didn't Read set for 9:30. I will join you at some point for a midday stream. I do have a late morning kind of appointment, so I will join you at some point midday. And we'll just keep you updated with the forecast through the rest of the day and the rest of the week. But again, for those that are just joining us for the first time, live streams usually happen around this time in the morning hours, midday or right around noon. Give or take, but usually right around noon. And then usually there's a late live stream between 4 and 5 p.m., sometimes a little later. Sometimes we wait until later in the night, which we haven't needed to do that hardly at all in the first 4.5 months of the Digital Weather Desk. Thanks so much for finding us. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'll check in with you later today. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by CenturyX Bank. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Be safe on the roadways this morning.